What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today at the request of Trinity, red or blue pill. The red one or the blue one. It's up for you to decide. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want more content like this, and let's get into it. We're at about 1.1 cent now. 1.1 cent now on SwiftCoin. All the Swifties out there are having a field day because this is a prime buying opportunity. This is a good moment right here. Prior areas of resistance. Somebody said that I've been wrong about SwiftCoin for 2 months, but I'm pretty sure over the last couple months I've actually called for us to go down to this exact area. I mean, maybe not all the time. I might have even at one point said that this was the low. I mean, but that's not even. I mean, that's barely like a half month ago, man. Like that ain't. What do you mean 2 months, bro? I've definitely been under the assumption that SwiftCoin would come down to these highs. And retrospectively, I probably should have thought the same with XCN, but maybe it's because I was personally involved with XCN that I just had my own biases get to me. That happens sometimes, man. Even to the best of us, even to the worst of us. From a high to a low, enough about myself, though. Finding support, and we're at the golden ratio. Like, that was a good area to call for a low. Even if we're down here, even if we go lower, like, that's not a bad buying opportunity right there. But we probably do go lower. You probably do go lower. My expectation would be that you see prices at 00889, somewhere around there. Let's see. Let's look at the price action here. What would that be? Maybe even lower. I doubt that you go to the 886. A lot of cryptos, I don't know if I'm just catching on and they're trying to stay ahead of me, or if it's just a coincidence, but I feel like ever since I've been mentioning that a lot of cryptos go to their 786, we've been seeing them go in between. Because what I often say is you either find support at the 786 or you find support at the 886, but oftentimes, or often enough, at least recently, I've seen a lot of cryptos do some things where they find support in between the 886 and 786, which is weird, but I don't expect SwiftCoin to drop 34%. And I also don't expect it to drop 18%. So something in between, something weird might be exactly where we go. Prior area of resistance here, prior area of support there. That's a 23.3% drop. I could see it happening. Now, I want to be clear. Just because I could see it happening doesn't mean that it will happen. It's completely possible. It's completely viable that we could go up from here. We could have found our low and we might not go lower. It's a very possible outcome. The daily RSI would suggest otherwise. You know, living below the 40 is not a good look. Bouncing off the oversold zone but getting nothing out of it, that's not a good look in itself. Right, last time you got right above the 40 and then found support, that's a good look, right? What we're doing now is kind of the anti-that, and we would likely go into the oversold zone. That's my thoughts, which allows me to believe that we have just one last final push down, right? 4-hour RSI here, also looking pretty bearish. Anytime you get up to these areas, you go back to the oversold zone, right? This area here, if we put a line right there, let's go right where we're at now. Here, oversold. Here, inevitably oversold. Here, oversold, right? Just below, you went a little lower up to here, oversold, right? Here, oversold, okay? Even right there, even just before this here, oversold. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if we have lower to go. If we have that much lower to go on the RSI on the 4-hour time frame, I would think that a 20% move or more is very suitable, right? You're at 1.08 cents now. You're probably going to go down to 0.0084 or 0.0088. Or somewhere in between there, maybe even a little bit lower. The lowest I'd give you is about 0.07183, somewhere in that kind of area. But I'm not, again, I don't assume you go that low. This will likely form in a short amount of time. What I mean by that is not short amount of time from here, though I suppose it will be a short amount of time from here. I think it will happen over the coming days, if not over the next week or so. But what I mean by that is I expect it to be short-lived. Like the amount of time that you have down at these lows, it's not very long-lived. Even on these lows that inevitably bring lower lows, it's not long-lived. So I would expect this one, you might have a wicked wick. If you're looking to buy in this area at all, or even down here, you should have buy orders set up ahead of time, because likely if you're just trying to catch it as it goes, you're going to have to throw a market order in or something like that. And by the way, market orders, if you guys have noticed on Coinbase, at least if you have Coinbase One, if you have like the premium, not like the $250 a month premium, though I am thinking about getting that one, but like the $25 a month one, market orders are actually not bad. It's actually not bad at all, I got to say. I've actually been using, I never thought that I would actually use market orders to the degree that I have been, but I'm not afraid of them. They used to be total ripoffs, and now they're basically just as good as a limit order. I mean, obviously not. It's better to do a limit order than it is a market order, but I'm digressing. I'm just saying, don't be afraid of hitting that market buy if you're trying to catch the absolute low. But unless you do have that going on for you, I would say set up limit orders. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but if you're looking to buy this, and I am definitely interested in buying some SwiftCoin, man, this would be the area that I'd buy. No less than the 786, no more than the 886. So I would probably layer my buy orders between 008 to 008 8, something like that. Yeah. Let's see if we can refine this downside a little bit more. And by the way, I actually got distracted. I was trying to make a point. Just because I think we're going down doesn't mean that we have to. It's very possible, if I can get it back, it's very possible that we could go up. If we start closing days above 1.2696 cents, if we start closing days above this high point here of resistance, this low point here of support, these low points of support, and those high points of resistance, so we start closing above the golden ratio on a daily basis or a more significant time frame, yeah, we probably found our low. Yeah, we can talk about moving up again, right? It's not completely convincing, but I would probably flip bullish at that point. So it doesn't take much to flip bullish on this thing to make it look good. But really, you just need to break out of this downtrend. Ultimately, is what you'd have to do to validate this as a low. So I can be wrong, and if I was wrong, that would be a first indication that maybe something else is going on here. Okay, I would just be very surprised if you didn't get oversold in the RSI. But I do want to look at SwiftCoin. So I think Bitcoin is going to drop down to 72 to 73K, right? Let's imagine it does. Let's just imagine it does. Let's imagine that I'm a prophet for once and that I actually do have a crystal ball and I can peer right into the future. We'll put it right at 72,500 to put it in between 72 and 73K, something like that. Okay, so a 13% drop from here. SwiftCoin, SwiftC with BTC. Do we have that availability? Yeah, on HTX. Okay, whatever. We'll use it. We'll use it. In the name of Justin Suntron, here we go. If this were to drop lower, and I think that it might, let's see, low to high. Right, if the dollar price drops, the Bitcoin price is going to drop. I don't know how much dramatically more you would drop. I wouldn't expect you to go to the 786 of this thing, though maybe you do. Let's see. Yeah, I don't. If you drop 30% versus Bitcoin, guys, you're dropping a lot, a lot. I could see you dropping 10%. I don't think you get out of this golden zone. So let's just assume the worst. Let's say you drop about 14% versus Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's going to drop 13%, SwiftCoin drops 14% versus Bitcoin, 15% versus Bitcoin, and that might imply then that you see something on the lines of what would that be? I did the math and then I forgot it. It'd be like a 28% drop. So a 28% drop would be closer to, that would be at the 007s, just below 208. But that doesn't mean that you have to go there. But it's very possible that you do. And again, that is very close to this 886 area from a low to a high, right there. Actually, it's right in between. So that's a possibility. I don't mind that, right? I don't mind that as a price target because that right there, you found support right at that area. You found resistance right here, right? I can kind of show you right at this low here. You found resistance right here as well. Turbulence there, whatever. But it makes sense. It wouldn't be crazy at all. Let's just see. What about this pivot here? What's this telling us from a low to a high? 1886200. Yeah, I like it, man. That so 00785 is the low target that I would assume. If you go lower, it's okay, but that's the low target I would assume. And then maybe even 00827. I think you're going to go right in that area. I think we just pinpointed it accurately. I'm glad that we did that extra step. So that's all I got for you guys. Whenever it does come time for SwiftCoin to move up higher, we all know where it's going to go, right? It's going to go right on up to 0. It's going to 0. No, it's going to go a lot higher. It's got a lot of bullish aspirations ahead. SwiftCoin here, SwiftC, $108 million market cap. I feel like this cycle, coins that have efficient means of swapping, of swapping across chains, they're becoming more desirable. And SwiftCoin has been around. It's one of the OGs as far as that goes for cross-chain swaps, and it's only gaining prominence this cycle. So I could see it doing really well. I know that there's some interesting stuff on a fundamental level about it, and being at $108 million right now, it would make total sense that this thing could see a 100x in market cap growth, which would be basically 100x in price as well, or a multi-100x, right? To get to a 100x would mean that you're at about an $11 billion market cap from the current price. If you saw a 300x, it's a $30 billion market cap. And for a coin that's been around for multiple cycles like SwiftCoin, that's not hard to ask for, right? And it's not easy either. Going from $100 million to a $30 billion market cap is not easy, but it is attainable. It's very attainable. There's coins that start from less in their first cycle and achieve more. It's very attainable. So it can happen, and I would even say even more than that. But will this thing see a 100x? Will it see a multi 100x? That's not for me to say. I'm not going to be surprised if it doesn't, right? It could only see a 50x. It might only see a 20x. Maybe it flops and it sees a 0. You never know what the future is going to hold. But if I had to guess, if I had to bet, if there were 5 coins I had to choose from and I had to guess just one of them to do a 100x, right? I had 5 to choose from that were 100x capable, and I needed at least one of them to be right, and my life depended on it, right? Like I can choose all the cryptos I want. Find me a 100x C-Zar. You get 5 options. If at least one of them is right, then you'll stay alive. This would be in that list for sure. This would definitely be in that list for sure, because I do think it's got 100x and more capabilities left in it for this cycle alone. But that's far away. That's far away for now. So for now, let's stay focused. I do think that once you find your low, we don't have the low, so it's not really appropriate to guess. But just understand that the 1272, if we move down, you see that how those prices move up as we move down. So the targets will only be more bullish. I would assume you do go to 12.5 cents, 19 to 20 cents, 22 cents, maybe even as high as 35 cents when this is all said and done. After all, from your last high here to your low here, you did go all the way right up to your 2272. And you oftentimes don't tip it for resistance, but that's interesting to note that it did, because maybe that's a possibility for you to do again, tipping it. Sometimes you just establish relationships in your own way with the fibs, but oftentimes you do wick above the 2272. Oftentimes too, I've noticed with these smaller kind of fib ranges, right? This is a much larger fib range than this last one was. If you saw the 2272 of this one, you might only see the 1886 or the 100 of this one. And those are totally appropriate targets, I think. If we're looking at the current price, you know, from the current price, that's anything from about a 11x, 11.5x to about a 17x, maybe even a 20x potential, let alone anything greater than that, and let alone the fact that you're probably going to go below this low, right? If you do go to the areas that I'm thinking at, let's just say you go right to 008, right? Let's say, because I think that you will go a little bit below there, but let's just say you go right there, okay? The minimum target now turns from an 11x to a 15x. The likely target turns into a 23x to a 28x, and you know the moon boy crazy target, which could happen, is like a 42x. So yeah, man, this thing's got a lot of potential in the short term. It's got a lot of potential in the long term. After this next move, it will not be 100xable anymore. So if you want to buy your ticket for a chance at a 100x, it's now or never, essentially. I think it's at a great price. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. There's nothing wrong with acquiring some at these levels. And I think that it's fine if you want to DCA down, but I also do believe it's going to go lower. So unless you're like me and you have no crypto, no skin in the game at all, maybe you should buy some here and then just DCA lower. I am going to look to buy lower. I am convinced it's going to go lower. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm getting choked out here. But if it goes higher, I'm not afraid to throw the hammer down on this thing, right? From a low to a high, if we get above like 1.4 cents, 1.3 cents, I would say 1.4. If we get above 1.4 cents, I'd probably just start to buy in there. You know, it's okay to buy higher. To me, at least, it's okay to buy higher as long as you have conviction that it's going to go higher. And then you have to accept that even if it goes lower where you originally thought it would go, you just have to hold through that and eat that. You know, sometimes that's how it is too. But I'd rather get in and not miss the boat rather than miss the boat entirely. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know if I buy some. I always tell people if I buy or sell cryptos when I do. I've got nothing else for you. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.